And then,
Okay, yeah, so Althea Pale Ale, 4.8%. I'm guessing it's kind of an American style pale ale. I've done a little digging around. It has 3 massive hops in it: Citra, Amarillo and Simcoe. So I'm expecting to get some nice piney, dank, resinous element to it. I'm not really sure. It's 48 IBUs in bitterness, but the beer itself is a pale ale, so I'm also expecting a bit of restraint in the bitterness in comparison to an IPA. But anyway, let's crack this one open and we'll see what they've done with it. Okay. It's a dinky little can, 330ml can, part of their core range, Althea. Althea is just named after, I think it's a Grateful Dead song or album. Maybe you know, let me know in the comments. Yeah, looking very, very pale, straw-like pale colour. Let's give it a bit of a head on it. Got it in my nice half tulip glass here. There's a little fly that's trying to get in on the act here. Let's see if we can get the last of that in there and then get going on it. Okay. Okay, so straight away, it's got that sort of very light pale orange juice color to it, murky. What is that? There's a touch of amberness, amber like coloration inside the beer. Nice, decent stay-in head. Perfect white head. Bubbles, fairly big bubbles in fairness. So we'll see how they go. It's only 4.8%, so we'll see what the stability of the head is like after a couple of sips out of it. Let's have a little look. There's an orange juicy, there really is like an orange juice kind of aroma to the top of this. Kind of like when you open up one of those cartons of orange juice, crack the lid off of it, and I wonder, is that from the Amarillo hops? I know Amarillo hops give you peachy sort of aromas, but so without calling it fruit juice, there really is a nice kind of orange fruit juicy, maybe like a tropical orange fruit juice like you get in the supermarket. A very similar sort of aroma profile to that. I'm not getting too much of the Simcoe on the nose, but it feels like there could be like a peachy kind of element to it, and you know, it has Amarillo hops in it, so yeah, definitely a fleshy type peach going on in there. So this is going to be a different style pale ale to what I'm accustomed to. A lot of pale ales, modern pale ales, have that sort of citrus bite. You know that it's coming, you can smell it in the aroma. But this has like a very soft, mellow, peachy, orangey, tropical fruit juice. Sort of really interesting aroma emanating from it. So let's give this a little crack. Yeah, the head has died down a little bit. I saw that the bubbles on it were fairly big. I wonder, is there... Let's get it, spin it up a little bit again. Can't really see much on the carbonation end. It's so densely, it's so murky. It's very difficult to see the carbonation that's going on inside this beer. I just get that the aroma on this is so nice. Like Galway, I found that Galway Bay Brewery's beers, they're each very different beers. So you're not getting a whole bunch of beers that are just ever so slightly different with a different label on the can. So I like that. Anyway, time to give this a lash. Okay, let's talk about the hops first of all. There's bitterness in this beer. It's not harsh bitterness. It's fairly kept under control, and it doesn't linger on. So that's interesting, because Simcoe hops for me usually give a lasting bitterness that carries on through the flavour and sort of builds in the palate with like oily sort of terpene hop sort of oils going on. This seems a little bit more mellow, but there's up front there's a bitterness, but it just dies off fairly quickly. I wonder, does it build though? It's very nice to drink this beer, I can tell you. Okay, yeah, definitely I think Amarillo's sort of the star hop in this profile here. There's a bit of citrus going on with it, but it's very much more along the tropical fruit juice range than it is citrus. So park the citrus element of citra hops that are in it and just concentrate mainly on the aspects of Amarillo hops. This seems to be showcasing that profile very well. And the coloration of the beer sort of supports that almost purely by chance. Now, in this beer, there are melanoidin and Vienna malts. And the base malt is Golden Promise, which is a really nice English malt you can add, and it doesn't add too much coloration to the beer. So I guess in the Vienna is giving it this really nice orange hue to it. It really is like bright orange when you get it up to the light. And yeah, melanoidin malts. So melanoidin should give it a biscuity, honey type of aromas, flavor profile. What I get from it is a little bit biscuity. If you can wade through the mountains of hops that are in this beer, you do get a slight backbone of beer, which has some kind of aromatic leaning towards biscuity, but not too much, really. In fairness, let's spin the head up again. The stability of the head on this beer is a little bit better there. I have a feeling a lot of beers that are lower in ABV tend to pour better off of the tap than they do straight out the fridge. This one was out the fridge for 10 minutes before I started recording. So very, very nice hop profile to this beer. I do get that bit of that biscuity malt. I think my hand is warming up the beer just a touch here. Aromas really nice, really fleshy peach aroma to this beer. If you're ever getting it, hit me up on the comments and let me know if you found the same thing. Nice medium, just on the edge of medium light, but medium enough kind of body. Very, very gentle mouthfeel to it. There's no harshness that might come through from the Simcoe hops. They just build a little bit of oily backbone to the hops. Yeah, Amarillo hops all over this. I'm not one for being able to pick out hops, but I did read up it has Citra, Amarillo and Simcoe in it. I would have said, if you'd have said this is an Amarillo Pale Ale, I would have absolutely 100% agreed with that. The tropical element is coming in probably from the Citra and a bit of the Amarillo as well. And then there's that nice sort of slightly warming hop character that just comes through the back, but it's no harshness to it. And I'm guessing that must be where the Simcoe comes in. Lovely, very, very juicy, but not citrus, no acidity to this beer. It's just very mellow. Nice coating of oil around the palate, but it doesn't stick around. And when it goes, what you're left with is the same flavour that you get when you've finished a peach and 30 seconds later you're thinking about that peach that you've just eaten. That's the flavour profile that I have right now. So the mouthfeel is fantastic. The aromas are lovely. The flavour is just spot on. It's a surprising beer. I've had it only once since it was brought out, and I'd actually forgotten how nice this beer is. So it's, once again, it's another very well made beer from Galway Bay Brewery. Overall impression of this beer, it's a little gem. I'd love to have this beer with some kind of like chicken dish or a salad dish or a fish dish. This is not a heavy meat kind of beer. Okay, yeah, so this beer gets a big thumbs up from me. If I had any critique about it, it's that it's in a small can, but I could have bought more, in fairness. Beautiful beer, packed with flavour. It's a very nice beer. It's got a mellow profile of hops, but lots of them. The bitterness doesn't linger on, but it's there in the foreground. Small level of bitterness that goes all the way through the beer right till after you finish drinking it, but nothing harsh at all. Nothing that would make you want to move on to another beer because it's too bitter. Cracking little beer. Anyway, that's my view on Althea Pale Ale. 4.8% from Galway Bay Brewery. Fantastic little beer. All three of the beers that I've just recently reviewed, they're packed with flavour, and there's just nothing I can say about these beers that I don't like, or other than the fact that the can might be too small. But that's my decision how many cans I buy, and I should have bought more. Anyway, it's on to the next one. If you get a chance to get that beer, put a comment down below. Let me know how you found that beer, and if you got the same kind of peachy sort of aromas that I'm getting from it. And yeah, and if you've enjoyed the video, give it a like and a subscribe, and feel free to share it around. And it's on to the next one. Okay, cheers, sláinte, bye.